I'm the founder of Mala. We're a digital agency, and what we focus on is making conversion-focused websites. What I want to do is run a series about some mistakes that we've made with our website and what we're going to do to fix them. So this is going to be quite informal. It's going to be a little bit stream of consciousness. But what I want to do is guide anyone else who's in sort of a similar position where maybe their website's not doing what they want it to do. And also sort of give potential future clients an idea of how we work and how we sort of break down a problem like this. So the funny thing about being a digital agency yet not being super happy with your own website, it's sort of like the cobbler's son is the last one to get shoes, or you never really want to trust the skinny chef. There's a million analogies like this. But the reality of it is that when you're focused on serving clients the whole time, sometimes your own needs get a little bit left behind, which is a little bit of a catch-22 when you think about our website is one of the big ways that we generate leads. It would be a combination of sort of networking, inbound and outbound. You do need to focus in on, what's up with our website, and we can't entirely focus on outbound, especially considering what is happening with the SaaS market, where it's sort of turning inside out at the moment. Mainly due to Elon Musk. But let's have a little look at the problem and let's have a think about what we can do to try and solve it. So this is our site as it stands. There's things I like and things I don't like about the existing site. The branding is sort of fun, it's sort of poppy. It's maybe not as mature as it could be or as I'd like it to be, but the branding isn't really the problem here. Some of the big problems are that it's just we sell conversion focused websites, and the websites we sell to clients wind up being great and highly converting. But for our own site, there's a good few things here that just don't really make sense. So, one second. So some of the things that you'd want with a marketing site like this, firstly, I'm more in favor of sort of a left-right hero, where you have your value proposition on the left and then something that actually shows the thing on the right. So that's one of the first things that I call out. Our CTA, begin delivering results. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a huge amount to me. Where does it bring us? The contact page. Well, we haven't really outlined our services well enough to get to the point where we're ready to convert somebody. So maybe this should be more like view our services, look at a proposal, look at how we help people in your industry. Maybe it's a bit too much to jump in with a CTA like this straight away. There's a lot of copy, but not a lot showing what we do just yet. You have to actually scroll a little bit to see our work. I'm really proud of our work, but one of the big mistakes that we've made is not keeping it up to date and maybe not going into as much detail as we'd like when it comes to our work. Again, these are written between projects or when I have a few minutes downtime rather than a dedicated piece of work that really does justice to the projects. So I think getting case studies up to date is one of the really important things that I'm going to need to do. Some really other obvious stuff is that forms, there's no form. There's a book a call thing here which brings us to contact us today. If we jump over there, this leave a message will pop up our intercom widget when we hit the right. Oh, it only does it when you look at the button. That's something that needs to be improved. It should fire off intercom. Yeah, great. Our booking form sends messages directly to Slack. I think that could be a little bit more powerful. Using some sort of maker tool in the middle could be good. And then sending things through to a CRM rather than directly to Slack, HubSpot, that sort of thing. We've played around in the past with client projects, sending it through enrichment tools as well, like Leadfeeder or something, to sort of figure out what's the business, what's the size, pre-populate it a little bit before it hits the CRM, just to give you a little bit of extra context. Another huge thing that we're missing is just there's not really as much top of the funnel stuff as I'd like. We have blog posts, but we don't have many sort of white papers, go live, checklists, SEO, cheat sheets, that sort of stuff blocked behind mailing lists and stuff. So we're not really gathering a mailing list. So we don't have an audience. We don't have anyone to do sort of outbound marketing to. that's sort of giving consent that is warm-ish. So we're not really doing much top of the funnel stuff either. So the existing site, it needs some love and it needs some work. But that's only one of the things that we're going to need to think about. The other one, which is a little bit bigger, is SEO. So when it comes to SEO, one of the big mistakes, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but it's a realization over the last year or so as I've grown to understand SEO's place in the website ecosystem a little bit more. One of the big mistakes we made was we launched this, and we say I was a big force behind it. I really pushed to get this site out. I pushed this version of the site out because we wanted to sort of eat our own dog food. We had a previous site and it was fine, but I really wanted to start using Sanity CMS. I wanted to use Next.js. I wanted to sort of use the thing that we're preaching. And in rushing to do that, we pushed out this site before it was ready. And some of the downsides of that is that we didn't port over all of our content immediately. And we still haven't. It's been almost a year and there's content that I didn't bring over. We lost some redirects. We changed some URL schemas. We changed the page structures and didn't wind up bringing the same keywords over. In some cases, there's a few weeks where we didn't even fill out our meta descriptions and meta titles. So these are things that I've seen in client projects where SEO might not be part of the bundle, and it's sort of a rush at the end to say, who filled out the title and description, who put in the social sharing images, what keywords are we targeting? This is a huge thing that I have learned is a do or die. This can't be the last thing you think about. It should be the first thing you think about. And with the new site, content and SEO is the first thing we're doing. Positioning content and SEO. We need to figure out who the ideal customer profile is, what keywords they're looking for, and then we need to write content for it. So it needs to be the first thing, not the last thing. So big mistake that we made was not doing it that way. Doing all the technical stuff, the design stuff, getting the website live, but getting it live without the right SEO stuff. What is the ramification or the impact of doing that? Let's see. So that's a bit of a valley we see there. This is set to 16 months, so you can sort of see for the half year before, we were trucking along fairly okay. There was what sort of started as a little bit of a dip, but there's many factors that could come into that. We weren't creating a huge amount of content. Maybe we weren't doing an enormous amount of outbound either. But you can see like a very clear cliff. And we did launch around February. So that's crazy. And the crazy thing is we were busy with client projects. We were busy. And in agencies, a lot of your referrals and leads come from your network. They come from previous clients. They come from partners. So things looked fine. They looked as if it was sort of business as usual. So I didn't really pay a huge amount of attention to it. It's a big mistake and you can't do that. It restricts our ability to grow. Maybe if we were still getting a whole heap of traffic from the website and inbound leads from the website, we could have hired more. We could have grown the business. Now, in my defense, we were doing a lot of operations and foundational stuff to help us be able to scale. So I don't feel too hard about it, because we couldn't probably have dealt with the extra load. But saying no to people is better than not talking to them at all. So this is pretty crazy. Like there's points here where we're getting like less than 100 impressions. This is Google Search Console. Sorry, just for anyone who doesn't use this too much. Google Search Console is pretty much the closest you can get to drinking from the tap as to what people are actually searching. So this isn't Google Analytics. This isn't our site yet reporting the data. This is what people are going to Google and searching. So they were searching for us directly, or something similar. Mala is actually another word as well. But we were coming up for Digital Agency Dublin, Agency Digital, Web Agency Dublin. We're getting a whole heap of traffic for that. So much so, Jamstack Agency is what we started ranking for recently. But it's like the second last on the list. If we put this closer to sort of 6 months, yeah, like you can see the last year, we rank a whole heap more for like Jamstack agency and stuff because I started leaning into that a few months ago. But again, huge mistake I made was I said Jamstack is a niche. We need to niche down to start to reach our target market, and Jamstack and headless CMS and all of that is a niche. But the mistake I made, and this is where SEMrush and tools like this come in, is that I made the mistake of not checking the volume on the keywords. So sure, we rank and we're in the top for a whole heap of these Jamstack keywords, but it doesn't matter if there's nobody searching it. And the other thing is, what's the buyer intent, or what's the search intent? Is the search intent commercial, informative? So we did start ranking for it, hooray, but did it turn into leads? No. So very recently, you can see in September and onwards, we started to go up again. So what happened in the last 3 months, you might ask? A combination of things. I started to really pay attention to the website again, fixing up meta descriptions, meta titles, starting to really focus in on keywords. And like, we do have traffic for Jamstack stuff, and it's good traffic, but Jamstack SEO is something we come up with an awful lot, and we didn't have any landing pages for that before. So that's another silly one where we're missing opportunities. Jamstack agency, Jamstack development agency, we are ranking for it, but there are other people also ranking for this. You can see 2 clicks over 3 months, even though we're getting a whole heap of impressions. So not necessarily the right keywords to be going after. Very recently, I went, okay, Digital Agency Dublin is something that we were getting a lot of impressions for before, and Digital Agency Digital Dublin, all the different permutations of it. So if we go even closer again, the 28 days, ranked by impressions, you can start to see that Digital Agency Dublin, Digital Agency, they're starting to come back up. So Jamstack SEO is still a really strong search term, and we rank well for it, but we haven't been able to convert that yet into leads. It's something I definitely would say to think about, but we'll figure that one out. So that describes a little bit of the problem. So the problem was launching too early, launching without our content, launching without our meta descriptions, our meta titles, and it's not simple. It's not simple to do the actual like heavy thinking part. It's simple to actually add it all into the CMS. That part is just, it's what happens when you work on the edge. You get errors. That's as simple as throwing in this stuff. Your meta title, your description. We don't have a per page social sharing image here because we have a site-wide one. But figuring out what you want to show up when people go and search you. And you can see what shows up if you just put in site // Things are looking a little bit more ordered now. They're looking a little bit more uniform now, so that's good. So the one thing I want to sort of leave us off with here, and the piece of advice that we're taking going forward, is to think about, when you're building a website, you're actually really building for 2 audiences, or however many actual audiences you have, plus Google. Google is like your biggest audience. The crawlers, the scrapers, all of the things reading your meta descriptions and trying to figure out what you do, they are one of your biggest audiences. So while you do want to have something that, from a user experience, conversion rate optimization, and human point of view makes sense and leads people through your website, it's very important to make sure your site has just the SEO fundamentals. So what are we going to do ongoing and with this new project to take advantage of that? So the first thing that I'm doing is we're doing an SEO audit of the marketplace for digital agencies, technical agencies doing sort of headless CMS, growth frameworks, this sort of all the stuff that we're doing. We're looking at the industry and trying to see what are the keyword opportunities, and that sort of stuff is it's possible to do some of that stuff in SEMrush, so I can throw ourselves in there, we can look at keywords and we can see what sort of the volume is, what our position changes have been, that sort of stuff. And we can see it against competitors. I'm not going to do it live, but organic research is generally where you want to go. So we're going to find the keywords that we want to rank for. We are going to figure out the ideal customer profile and what sort of offers we can put together for them. Is it a small marketing team, a big marketing team? Are they in SaaS? Are they in a different sector? And we'll try and build out keywords for them and messages and offers that work for them. This is all content and SEO for now. We haven't got into technical or design or anything. So figuring out the market, the marketing, the ICP, building keyword strategies around it, then building a content strategy around it, both for the upfront page, like the landing pages all need like your upfront content creation, but then you need sort of ongoing. You need a resource hub. This is a sort of simple approach, but what we'll probably have is, /learning, content, resource, that sort of thing, where we'll create content across a few different types, podcasts, videos, blogs, interviews, because that's the stuff that will actually feed in from the SEO and start to get you ranked, because people need to come and read some of your stuff. You need to become a bit of a thought leader. You need stuff to actually generate traffic before you start ranking. When you compare against some other agencies that are doing it really well, you can see that people arrive for their content before they go and see their services and their team and their about and their offers. So that's what we're doing first. Marketing, ICP, SEO, content creation, and then we're going to look at design and development. And biggest thing for me when it comes to design and development is going to be figuring out the user experience we want to provide, and then figuring out the CMS experience we want to provide. What's the structured data that makes up our site, makes up our offering? For an agency, it's going to be stuff like services, customers, authors of blog posts, that sort of stuff, because you want this to reflect your how your business works, not just how your website's structured. That's where we are so far. I hope this is interesting. Let me know, comment on LinkedIn, comment on Twitter if you're interested in continuing. We'll put up some sort of subscription piece so we can start doing what we have been missing doing and keeping you all informed. Thank you.